there, it's time for another breaking story here at Occupy Democrats, and while I'm a huge fan of a good joke, which you may have noticed by now, and if you'd like to joke in the White House out of there, just subscribe to the channel. But in this breaking story, there's a time and a place for jokes, inappropriate or simply frightening. And when you're the U.S. ambassador to a NATO country at this moment in time, you might want to keep your mouth shut. And I'm going to show that story to you in just a few moments because it is not coming from where you think. And while it is extraordinarily rare for me to ever talk about or show anything from Tucker Carlson, there is a truth and reality out of Tucker Carlson's mouth that absolutely has to be heard because holy crap is it telling. Listen to what he says about us, Venezuela, oil, and what we're doing. And trust me, it gets worse.
We are now explicitly an empire. As the United States basically just said, we're doing this because of the resources. Venezuela has the largest proven oil reserve in the world. It's in our hemisphere. It's going to China. And how about no? He just said it out loud. We're the U.S. We're not going to put up with that. This is good for us.
And then he said this.
We're not upholding international law. We're doing it because we want the oil. And that's a massive improvement over yet another lecture about a hollow theory.
Yeah, screw international law. Screw hollow theories of, having global peace on some level. But there's more.
So where does it leave all these international bodies? The UN most famously, but all of them. The World Health Organization. How about NATO? Do they have any authority at all? Is there a reason to have them?
Yeah, what about them, Tucker? They're sort of the keys that hold and bind together a degree of some fashion of world peace. He's not done.
Once we stop pretending? Probably not. They may not know that yet. And of course, they're all very well funded and will live on into the future to some extent. But basically, they're dead men walking. They're over. That's all over.
When you hear him say that's all over, that is spoken like a man who believes and or knows Trump is not leaving the White House. But here is the real frightening part right here.
We now live in a world where countries will act in their own interest without apology to the extent they are capable of doing so through force or guile, through economic power or military power.
Their own economic or military power, Tucker? That's just World War III you're describing if you aren't clear. And then he puts the cherry on top of the cake with this comment.
But nobody's going to have to pretend that we're doing this because we're upholding the rights of man. A lot of people are excited about it.
People are excited about it. I don't know. You might want to check in with 180 other countries or so in terms of who's excited about it. But in this breaking story, what you want to hear is the joke that our U.S. ambassador to Iceland, in light of the issues with Greenland, just made and how it backfired big league right here. Check this story out.
Iceland demands answers from U.S. after Trump ally cracks 50-second state joke. Billy Long's gag about the North Atlantic island landed with a jolt amid sky-high tensions over ownership of Greenland. First Greenland, next Iceland. Reykjavik is concerned about America's growing territorial ambitions after Politico reported that President Donald Trump's nominee for ambassador to Iceland, Billy Long, joked in Washington that Iceland will be the 52nd U.S. state and he'll be governor. The Ministry for Foreign Affairs has contacted the U.S. Embassy in Iceland to verify the veracity of the alleged comments. Iceland's foreign ministry told Politico in a statement. Long is a former Republican congressman from Missouri whom Trump nominated to become the new U.S. envoy to Iceland, replacing Karen Patman. In the wake of Long's reported comments, Icelanders launched a petition urging Foreign Minister Katrín Gunnarsdóttir to reject him as ambassador. It currently has 2,000 signatures. These words of Billy Long, who Donald Trump has nominated as ambassador to Iceland, may have been said in half-hearted terms, but they are insulting to Iceland and Icelanders, who have had to fight for their freedom and have always been a friend of the United States, the petition says. We want Þorgerður Katrín Gunnarsdóttir to reject Billy Long as ambassador to Iceland and call for the United States to nominate another man who will show Iceland and Icelanders more respect, it adds. Long's quip landed awkwardly amid diplomatic tensions over Greenland, a self-governing Danish territory that Trump is threatening to seize, potentially using military force, claiming that the U.S. has to have Greenland for national security. Long did not respond to requests for comment Tuesday after he was heard making the remark. European leaders are backing Greenlanders, who have repeatedly said they don't want to be Americans, and are seeking a deal to head off a potential clash that Denmark has said would end the transatlantic NATO alliance.
Life is often with whom you consort, which makes you often complicit in what they do, say, and or think. And that is exactly the Trumposphere and the sycophants that surround him. Because the bottom line is, this entire GOP of all these white dudes coming from a white dude who's over 50, they're all on the same page. It is all about the U.S. becoming Russia in terms of a select few of oligarchs who literally own, all of the political power and capital in this country. That's where a joke like that from a U.S. ambassador to Iceland emanates from in your soul and your mind. Because no one in the Trumposphere, including ICE, not Iceland, including ICE, thinks they're going to face any consequence or retribution for anything they say. This is very dangerous. You guys like and share the video and stay frosty.